This is lesson 2 for multicultural literature for the flipped classroom model. And today I want to talk about an assignment you're going to be working on for the next week. So this is called a cultural identity paper, and we are going to be doing some in-class writing with some revising time, and it will be due next week, so you don't have to panic about it this week. This particular paper will also meet some of our Common Core objectives, some of our standards, and with any piece of writing, there are usually multiple objectives that we are actually hitting, but explicitly I wanted you to notice that we are working towards clear and coherent writing. You will be doing some developing, some organizing, paying attention to style, paying attention to what the task, purpose, and the audience for this particular paper is going to be me. You don't need to share it with your classmates because there may be some material within it that you write that's of a more personal nature. As far as writing over extended time, we will have time in class on Wednesday to do the first draft, and there will be some more time to reflect and to work on a final copy. So what do you need to do? These are this is sort of a bullet list of the pieces that I'm going to be looking for in this particular paper. I want you to tell me about your social identities. I'm going to tell you what that means in just a moment. So, this is important. I want you to reflect upon aspects of those identities. Maybe not all of the ways that you identify yourself, but perhaps one or two. I want you to identify and explain a particular moment. I think about this in terms of looking back to times when you worked on narrative writing, perhaps in your 10th grade year or maybe your 9th grade year, and I'm envisioning that you might actually tell a little bit of a story. This may look like an anecdote. This may almost read like fiction, but of course this is a true story about yourself. And then lastly, I want you to explain and reflect upon meeting people outside of your particular identities. This could have been a positive experience or, unfortunately, perhaps a negative experience. You're going to choose which way you want to take this. And I added this little note, mostly for myself, so I don't forget, that I would hope that you'll consider me a safe audience, so that if you choose to express something that's of a more personal nature, that I will keep that safe for you and not be sharing it among other adults in the school or other students that I may know during the day. So whatever you choose to include in your paper is confidential with me. The only caveat is if there was anything that you wrote that shows to me that you're in some sort of danger. I mean, that's always true in a classroom, that I do have to be mindful of student safety. So that's going to be important too. I wouldn't expect anything like that. And to treat your subject with some respect, and I will do the same. Treat your subject with respect. Cultural identities or social identities, we haven't done a lot of definitions of terminology up to this point, and that's been on purpose on my part. And that's because I wanted us to get into the literature first and start thinking about someone else's experiences and maybe doing some of that reflective work in our minds. As you read Sherman Alexi's stories, perhaps you think about how you do connect or don't connect. So I recognize that some of you may want to know a little bit more about what those identities are, and so I've posted on my website something called a social identity wheel, which is not something I've created, it's come to me, but it may be useful in terms of how you may fit into different categories. Certainly there's overlap, and certainly we don't want to think about this as being a stereotypical definition of who you are. We're all complicated, different people, and we may fit into one sometimes, maybe not some other days, maybe it shifts over time. So this may not be the same today at perhaps your 17 or 18. It may change when you're a different age. It may have already changed. But just use this as a guide to help you brainstorm about who you are. It's not the be-all, end-all of everything. Don't forget that Thursday there will be another video posted, so you should make sure that you see that so you are getting the information you need for class. And again, please let me know if you have any questions and if there's anything else I can do to help you feel prepared and ready for the course as we continue to move forward. Thanks.